All the content contained in this webcast is for informational purposes only. The investments and strategies contained in this webcast may not be suitable for you. Please consult your own independent financial advisor before making any investment or trading decisions. Good morning, traders and investors around the world, and welcome to Friday's Memorial Day edition of Premarketinfo.com, where we prepare you for the most important hour of the day, the first hour. Good morning to you, Dennis. The Memorial Day weekend, you know what that means.
What's that mean, Joel?
Well, the Indy 500.
The Indy 500. Are you gonna
And,
Are you gonna be gambling on that? Are you?
no, I don't. That's too random, Dennis. You know me. I like sure things.
You like your horses.
And also my 23rd wedding anniversary.
Well, congratulations there, Joel. That's awesome. 23
I can
years.
start looking at the 24 calls now.
Yeah. I could definitely short the 22 puts too.
Okay. Looking at the S&Ps overnight, Dennis, we got a nice pop. We got up to almost the 1330 level. That's right up near the 6-day high. But we're kind of pulling back here a bit, Dennis.
We're pulling back a little bit. Fair value actually is a little bit. We're right around in line. 1322, so we're just about flat. It's interesting. We've been down about 7 points on the session. We've been up about 7 points on the session. We're right in the middle, being flat. So it's going to be an interesting day. And we got that Facebook, Joel. That's kind of been bouncing around a bit too.
Yeah, Dennis, it's really consolidated here. I've noticed that it's made a couple higher lows, really finding a home around the $31 level, $32 level. What I think is interesting about that, Dennis, is I was following this stock through the second market when it was trading. They only want like a $500,000 commitment to be able to trade on it. But it's spent a lot of time at 32. And it's interesting that, after the IPO, that's probably where a majority of the volume is traded. Don't quote me on that. But it comes back down to that level, $32. It seems to have found a home.
Starting to find and form some type of a base. Obviously, it hit 30 in the pre-market a few days ago, and that was the hard bottom. Seems like this 31 has been really good. Obviously, we bottomed out there 2 days ago there, right at the open. If you can break out over that 33.50 area, maybe it starts to fill that back up. I think a lot of people were nervous it was going to be shortable on Wednesday. People were selling ahead of it, and ever since it's become shortable, it's actually kind of found a bottom. You get the shorts, that actually add buying pressure once they've shorted the stock, so that can sometimes drive, and it's counterintuitive, but sometimes can, hold the price up well when you're allowed to short it.
I have to agree with you, Dennis, about this 33.50 level. Not only was 33.21 Thursday's high, Tuesday's high was 33.59, and then lo and behold, Dennis, what do we bump up against in the pre-market? 33.44. So I don't know. It's probably really hard to buy this thing on a breakout because of there's probably so many people stuck in this the stock or buying it short term. But that 33, let's call it 33.60 because 59 was Tuesday's high. If we get above that level, Facebook's got some room to run. I think on weakness here, if I had to take a shot buying in a weakness, take a little shot perhaps around the 32.50 area with a stop under 32.
I like the 32 level better just from my perspective. I think you had multiple yesterday and the day before. It's kind of consolidating that 32. So I don't know. I'm still playing the whole number theory on this a little bit here. I tend to think your institutions are congregating around those whole numbers a bit. So Joel will be a little earlier than me. He might be buying 32.50. I'd probably lean a little bit further down, maybe at 32.
Yeah, I mean, if it gets down to 32, I don't know if I want to own it.
Joel's selling if it gets down to 30. It's going to 31
Anyways, we talked about the 575 level in Apple yesterday, and so hard to hit just a number exactly on the head for that stock because of its volatility. It did get above there, Dennis, but not for very long.
Yeah, it just touched above there right at the open there yesterday. We opened up at a 570 or 81, but we ran up there and I actually got as high as, I'm just trying to grab it for you there,
76.50.
576.50. I'm not sure why it's not showing up on my numbers there. 576.50. So pulled back. It's kind of had an inside day with consolidated a little bit there yesterday. Obviously, still great support down that 555 area, but I tend to think. I think it's in the middle of from the run. So if it can start to break out over that 570 again, maybe we make a run for that 576.
Okay, just looking at it at on the close and where the market acted in the last hour, Apple really didn't join the crowd. So I think you probably get a little consolidation here. Maybe only have a 10-point range in it, Dennis. Maybe 560 to 570. But even though it's a slow day, Dennis, we still have some market movers.
Yeah, we still have a few market movers. We had one there, Verifone, that reported after the bell, and it got absolutely murdered. Gives you a daily chart on there so you can see where it's been. 41.50 is where it's trading right now in the after hours, or actually in the pre-market here. Traded down lower than that in the after hours though, Joel, and I'll let Joel go find where it traded to last night after the report. I'm looking at this $40 area though. It's a big whole number, nice round number. I think that's where it was trading down to. If you look back here in late January, we had a lot of consolidation in that whole $40 area, and then you had the run up basically straight to 45. What we always say, when stock runs up, in 2 or 3 days takes out 5 points. When it comes back through that area, it can go very, very quickly, and that's exactly what's happening. I wouldn't be surprised if you did find some buyers in that 40 area, Joel.
Did hit 40.38 in the pre-market,
40.38.
Dennis.
Okay, well, that was
Yep.
last night. Yep.
And if you go back, I mean, you nailed it, Dennis. You had a 40.31 low on January 31st, so that coincides nicely. Also, you had a gap up there, Dennis, the previous day. So you have a gap to fill from 39.59 to 40.31. You have the 40.28 level in the pre-market, so excellent number there, Dennis. Since it hit that low, it did have a immediate spike and then more of a orderly rally, and then we got up to the 42 level. So I'd keep an eye on 4209, Dennis. 4204, 4209 have been the last few highs in the pre-market. So keep an eye on that 42 level. I don't think it will get back down to that low at 4028. So let's call the range 40 and a half or 42.
Chesapeake, which is CHK, back in the news again. BlackRock apparently accumulated some shares. You've got Icon rumored to be accumulating shares. You got a lot of big players that are talking about accumulating shares. Whether they're right or wrong is still to be determined, but $15. Yesterday's low 14.65. This thing goes to pull back. I think you will find some buyers in this $15 area. It is kind of looking like on breakout mode. It's kind of a breakout mode day there yesterday. I know the stock has just been a real underperformer. It seems like every time it goes to rally, it's just met with more sellers, and in 3 or 4 days it beats it back down. Not sure this time though. BlackRock's a little better player than Icon is, so when BlackRock's accumulating, it makes me get a little bit more interested as well. If it did go to pullback, I don't think I'd want to buy. It's up trading up at 15.96 right now. So it's so if you do get a pullback, maybe you accumulate some. I'm not sure if I want to buy it on the breakout here though.
Yeah, Dennis, when you get some free time today, I'd like you to do a study of when BlackRock or Icon or Warren or all these people come out with these announcements, and the stock gets a pop, and then where is it at by the close? And this thing is opening up into resistance. We're looking at yesterday's high at 16. I don't know if I would fall for this trick, Dennis, but breaking out over 16, I just don't see a lot of room in this stock. It did kind of fly from 16 to 18. If it can get above and hold 16, yeah, maybe I'd take a look at it. But if this thing didn't get over 16 and even broke down through 15.90, I don't know if I'd want to keep it. It's had a nice run since making the 52-week low at 13.32. But I think what you really have to look out for this stock is this $18 level. I don't know if I'd want to touch it until it got above and held 18. There was a lot of tops there before it broke down. So this is just a tough one. They're gonna have to show me a little bit more something before I run out and buy this stock.
We've got Heinz in the news. Obviously, it reported earnings yesterday morning, and had a pretty wild range after the earnings report. The range yesterday was 53.64, down all the way to 52.50. You got a couple analysts coming out ganging up on it today, both downgrading it. J.P. Morgan and Jefferies has the stock underwater at 52.87. This is a low beta stock though, so when this thing gets a downgrade, it's not like it's going to fall $2 or $3. Being down 60 or 70 70 cents for Heinz is a big move. If that thing got anywhere near the 52 area, I think I would, from my own account, I'd probably be trying some longs down in that 52 area. But 52.50 was the low yesterday. That might give you some initial support. I love that 52 number though.
I mean, do they all of a sudden think people are going to start eating less ketchup?
I know. It's such a staple, obviously, canned foods, this is what people eat in a recession, Joel. So if it goes up, sometimes Heinz, believe it or not, can actually move counter to the market. But such a defensive stock, I don't know if you really get anything more defensive than a Heinz. So, so this thing losing a buck or two always, gives me some interest anyways. And when it's down 70 cents here in the pre-market, trading off these couple of downgrades, sure, maybe you get some follow through off the hop, but if you get a shot at that 52 area, I think I might try it.
Yeah, tennis just not a ton of volume associated with this move, and then you have a stock that trades, 3-4 million in a day, and then you get 70 cents down on 15, 20,000
Not
shares.
even 4,400, Joel.
Yeah, 4,400. Okay, I'd have to be is that including the
That,
trading from
that's
last
just
night too?
pre-market. That's just this morning.
Yeah, that's just this morning. So you have to. I can tell you, I can remember when Heinz has had these big moves before off the open, when it opens way high or way low. I mean, it either reverses, it either open at the low and just take no heat buying it, or it just opens up at that level and keeps going. We'll continue with it. It's not gonna stay down here at 52, 52.90 very long.
Other one in the news. This one's interesting. ROSG, which is Rosetta Genomics. This stock has just been nuts, Joel. This has obviously been flying here in the last few weeks. Here, I'm going to go just a little bit shorter here. I'm trying to just find you a chart that makes some sense. I mean, this stock, had the most wild range yesterday. Look at where this thing traded up to, Joel. Is that right?
Yeah.
23.43, down to 15. And you want to talk a volatile wild stock? This is it. Then after the bell, they come out and say that they're doing a secondary offer down $11.50. Stock's still trading 15.50. So I don't know what to say about this to our listeners here. The 15 looks like it should have good support, but when you've got an offering down 11.50, and some people are going to have the option, obviously, to buy the stock down 11.50, that makes me scared to buy it. But I mean, the thing was 23 or 24 bucks yesterday too, so maybe somebody got a little bit of hint that this offering might come out or something, sold it off afterwards. I'm not sure if this is priced in or not. What do you think of this one?
I think that you might as well get that off the screen, Dennis. I don't even
It's
know
the
it.
most volatile stock I think I've
Yeah,
ever
I
seen in
don't
my
even
life.
that. And also, it's also the fundamental information that you gave me makes absolutely no
None.
sense.
None.
So I, for once, Dennis, I don't have an opinion
I
on this.
know. I'm
Okay,
complete. I
get
wanted.
that
I
off the
wanted to see
screen.
what you'd
People are gonna
say on
think
it
we're
though,
crazy.
because obviously this stock has had. What's the pre-market range, Joe? At least give it or the after-hours pre-market range.
Okay, what is this? A merger of like Rosetta Stone and
And a
human.
biopharmaceutical company.
Yeah.
Uh,
Uh, let's see. On that news, it got down to $13,
yeah.
but since then, Dennis, it's been on a steady climb. Maybe the secondary was at 21.50. Maybe there's a typo
Maybe
or
there's a
something.
typo.
I
And
don't
it's going
know.
to be above that area. I don't know.
Thir
1575. This thing is wild. If you're trading this thing, I don't know if you can really, put relevance into that $11.50 number like you typically do in a secondary offering. Just because this thing is so wild. Maybe the shareholders. I didn't see how much stock. Maybe it's not that much stock that's being offered down there. I was just
100
reading through the
shares. I
headline.
don't know.
Pardon me.
I said maybe it's 100 shares,
It's
but
100 shares. I'm sure it's a few shares, but obviously people are still interested in this stock. It did get up to 23 bucks there yesterday, so I think it's 23.43. I don't even want to say an opinion on this one too. Trade this one at your own risk.
well,
FRO. Here, we'll go to a more conservative one for our listeners, Joel. We'll go over to FRO. We'll go into a $5 stock because that one's pretty crazy. I don't want our listeners even trading that thing. FRO, though, this thing had some consolidation big time if we go just a couple days ago up in this 545 area. It's trading 548 right now, so it has been wild actually for the last couple of days. Getting a pop here on earnings, Joel. Front line looking a little bit better. I'll give you a daily chart to give you an idea. Obviously, back in March we had this parabolic move, gave it all back, came right back to the area where it had consolidated before, starting to slowly move up from there. What's your take?
Well, there definitely must be an uptake in or upturn in the international seaborne transportation of crude oil.
Possibly.
Well, that's what they do.
Yeah, you are dazzling me with your fundamental analysis there, Joel.
Yeah,
Fundamental
good old
knowledge.
Google. Good
Good
old
old
Google.
Google.
I just Googled it to get you. I don't know, Dennis. This stock did find some major support, like you said, that 450 area. We're getting a nice pop, but you do have a reference point here, Dennis. You do have 558. That was the high from 3 days ago. I think if you can get above that level and hold that level, there's certainly no reason to go out and short the stock. It's been on a steady up climb since 520 when the news came out. So focus on that 558 level, which also coincides with some highs back at the beginning of May. And if the news is that good, hey, who knows? This thing might go to $6.
Anything else you want to talk to on the Big Ten? Because there really isn't a ton of movers today. We were looking for news stocks. There isn't really a ton in the news. We're kind of reaching when we're talking about little stocks like Frontline. Is there any of the Big Ten that you want our listeners to focus on here today, though?
Yeah, I'd like our traders to take a look at the potential double top here in ExxonMobil. We hit 82.78 on Tuesday and 82.84 Thursday. Our Thursday's highs. Pretty wide open after that. There might be some big sellers ganging up at 83. That's why you have that formation there. But keep an eye on the 82.78 level. GE yesterday tried to break out above 1930, but they beat it right back down. So GE's been showing some strength. Noticed on IBM, it just wasn't real dazzling yesterday on the rally. So I don't know if that's one that you want to be long on a market rally. Just as far as the S&Ps goes, Dennis, the Globex low 1316.50. That's just right above an area that we had three closes in this week, right around 1315. So I think if we do get back down there, 1315, 1650, the Globex low, I wouldn't be too excited about a big down day. We're kind of in a holiday 3-day weekend and looking for some quiet trading. That's our show for today, folks. If anybody knows what's going on with ROSG, please send us an email at info@premarketinfo.com.